My partner's son got up before 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning so he could drive for 4 hours to spend the day with a girl that he was seeing. As a contrast, I was talking to this young lady recently, and she was in a dilemma because she connected with someone that she found to be really interesting, and she felt attraction towards this person. They were chatting online for a while. They would talk sometimes on the phone. The communication wasn't as consistent as she wanted. And then the biggest problem was that he kept on postponing their first date. It wasn't as in days, but it turned into not next month. So I'm very glad that after she had that session with me, she decided, I don't think that this guy is serious, and maybe I should just cut the communication. By the way, if you would like to book your complimentary session with me, there is a link in the description. Now I'd like to ask you, where do you see yourself? Is it girl number one, where a guy is driving for 4 hours to see her and has an entire day planned? Or are you girl number two that will make a number of excuses for weeks, maybe months, or sometimes even years, just to justify his behavior and to say that, you know what, it is okay because he's a brain surgeon and because his grandmother just died. For many years, I could identify with a girl number two because I still remember I was seeing this guy for I think 2 years or something. And now when I think about it, I don't think he ever took me out during all this time. I don't think he ever took me out. He brought me a cupcake once. Yeah, I thought that was so cute and such a big deal. But it's okay, he's in my book and on my YouTube channel. By the way, you should subscribe. Also, the thing is, if you are used to this kind of behavior, someone who's not consistent, who doesn't show up as promised, someone who plays hot and cold games, someone who is unavailable, emotional unavailable, when you meet a different kind of guy, sometimes it is very difficult for you. It's creating a different kind of madness in you, but I'll talk about it later through the video. Now, let's look at some of the experiences of women that may be in a situation where they've been making excuses for the guy that they've been seeing for a really long time. So for example, looking at the comments of this video that I have on my channel about when you are the other woman. In my late 30s, I met a guy who I fell hard for. He would not commit. I racked my brain trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. The only wrong thing I did back then was stay in that mess for 4 long years. One day I had enough of being miserable every single day, packed my bags and moved thousands of miles away. Best thing I ever did for myself. I went back to school, focused on my career and learned how to love and enjoy being by myself. I'm now in my 70s and life is wonderful. So here we got someone who didn't make excuses for a man for a day, for a week, for a month. We got years of making excuses for a man, of trying to justify his behavior. And I really like what she said, that when she finally left that relationship, whatever relationship or what you want to call, that then she was able to focus on her career. She was able to go to school and do these other things. When you are in a relationship with someone like that, when you are in the situationship, entanglement, whatever you want to call it, this will absolutely wreck you. I can tell from my own experience. Another comment on the same video, actually, sometimes when I talk about that stuff, I do get emotional. I'm crying with you around minute 5:30. I lost 3 years of my life to a man that never had the intention to actually show up for me or even do the bare minimum. After the 3 months, he stopped putting effort. He completely wasted my time with excuses, love bombing and false promises. Then had the audacity to go off on me and call me the names when I finally decided to move on with someone who truly appreciates me, still recovering from that trauma. So maybe you are someone who's scrolling on Instagram and you see these great couples, or you see these women on these great dates and they are being picked up I don't know, with a fancy car, and maybe they're given 100 roses, and maybe they're flown with a helicopter to watch opera like Pretty Woman or whatnot. Firstly, this is social media, you don't know whether it's real, and even if it's real, you don't know whether this man, he's doing that because he truly feels that he wants to treat her like a princess, or whether he's doing that because he's trying to impress almost himself. I remember I went out on a few dates with someone, and I thought that he treated me really nicely, very nice dinners and great attention and all this. And then finally, when after a few dates, I told him, look, I don't think that we are a right match. He got offended, and I think he sent me a message, something along the line saying, I hope you enjoyed all the free meals. So that just shows, you know, the kind of person that someone might be. Here we have another example of someone with excuses and false promises. And yes, this example may feel a bit extreme for you, but I personally was in a situation where I was involved with a married man without actually knowing it at the beginning. It is a very, very painful situation. So this is from a wife's point of view. I'm a betrayed wife. My husband also had multiple affairs. Not only did he lie to me, but to these other women as well. I think if she knew how he used her, she would stop and just go on with her life. When my husband traveled, he would often sleep with a sex worker one night and her the next. Any woman considering having an affair with a married man should be aware that a man who lies to his wife will almost certainly lie to you as well. So if you ever been in a situation where you started seeing someone and dates are at an interesting time, he's never available during weekends, maybe the first time you met him was around 2-3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, or maybe very soon he's saying something like, I want to fly you somewhere. I remember I was on a date with this guy, and the moment I saw him, I just thought, I almost can sniff a wife on him, but let's see. I openly asked him the question, he tried to avoid the question, and then he initiated a conversation about how he would like to fly me somewhere, how we can relax and have fun and do all the fun things and all this. And then finally, as I kept on asking over and over again about his relationship status, he finally admitted that it's complicated. So when someone says it's complicated, or when someone is behaving in a way that seems complicated, when you haven't even met this person but already something feels off, please do not make excuses for this person. Yes, no one owes you anything, but if just the very beginning of dating, the very first few times when you are about to see this person seem really, something is off and you can't put your finger on it, and when you ask open questions, this person seems to be hiding something, stop making excuses. And I'm not talking about you becoming this red flag inspector where if someone is 5 minutes late, you're like, oh yeah, no, he doesn't respect me. I'm not talking about examples where maybe he didn't book a table to this restaurant because he forgot, and you're just like making such a big deal because he didn't book a table at this restaurant, but maybe you can go to a different restaurant. I'm not talking about these things where you may be seeing on social media where women are putting, I'm a princess queen, However, if you are watching this video, you're probably just someone who is tired of maybe playing games and who wants to meet someone who is kind, someone who is loving, someone you can have a future together and create something together. However, that may present its own challenges. So now let's go back to those first examples that I shared at the very beginning. One guy who's traveling for 4 hours in order to spend the day with you, and another guy who can't even bother to text back, or who wouldn't pick up the phone and call you, right? Now, if you are used to the girl's number 2 behavior, when someone is showing you this other behavior, it may be challenging for you. And you may be thinking that something is off. Maybe this guy is love bombing you. Or you may also think that, I don't know if I even like him that much. Because if you are used to this behavior where it's someone who's unreliable, not consistent, unavailable, keeps playing games, and feeds into your anxiety, which you're so used to, then this guy, number one, who puts a lot of effort, who plans things, who doesn't need convincing that he likes you, who doesn't need convincing that you are good enough, and who actually thinks that you are quite magical. And maybe you not experience that kind of behavior. So you will disregard this guy and you will think that, I'm not that interested in him. You will even go out of your way to find what is wrong with that guy who is so consistent and who is clearly showing that he is into you. However, this guy who is none of those things, you will find 110 excuses and 110 reasons why you should try a bit more. And maybe if you tune into your femininity, maybe if you watch another video that tells you how to make this guy go crazy, you read another book on the topic, how to unleash your inner goddess, then you will be able to change this guy who's emotional and unavailable, who's playing hot and cold, who's not even sure what he wants. And look, this is coming from someone who for many years maybe would enter a room, and if there is the most unavailable, emotional available guy, I would naturally gravitate towards that. However, once you recognize those patterns in yourself and you can clearly see that, okay, I exhibit that kind of behavior and maybe I make those choices that are not good for me, you can switch it to better decisions, to better choices. And when someone is showing you time and time again who they are, believe them. Don't look for excuses. And if there is someone unavailable that you can't let go of, then make sure that you watch this video here. Please like if you found it useful, share with your girlfriend, subscribe for more, and thank you so much for watching.